Or the one way to skin a cat. 3:07 a.m. 9th day, 3rd month, 2022. Going old school till my webcam arrives tomorrow. I've been having a great difficulty because it's an old camera and all I did was get a tower that can handle the work. So, we ain't gonna go with no drivers. We ain't gonna go with none of that downloading. So you guys get to see me going through my frustration. And I will now cancel that live feed because I can't go live because it doesn't allow my access to my camera. And now I'm going to go show you something else. So, hi everyone. I think the first thing I'm going to do is show you national radar load. Boy, shoot, loads right up. Right, I'm going to see the best magnifications I can get for you. Right, you're getting fried out here in Brisbane. Look at this. That'll pin moisture up here. Bzz. Getting fried. But the object of our wantons is here. Most of the storms you'll see this week popping up will be along this coast here. You're going to get a drying out period. With the EMF down here. Bzz. No, they really pixelated the feeds now. They don't want us to see it. The beam's coming out. Nothing definitive there. Let's go up. These arrows here will show you the next radar stations. Not much going on there. Let's go a little bit. See, this thing is flying. This is what I wanted. Good graphics card. The gong is getting it, but it's so pixelated now that they're afraid to show it. But there's a funny circle around the center of this too, isn't there? They didn't get that. And that'll be impacting this area here. Let's go a little bit north. And this is Brisbane, Stapleton. It's right by the highway. Big old golf club would please me on that one. Let's go a little bit north so we can catch Marburg. Oh, skimpy. Oh, look at these heavy storms. This radar is doo-doo, right? It's useless to me. So I'm going to go right for sat view. Close that one off. Boy, is this loading nice. It's what we deserve. Thank you, community, for now allowing me to show you things a bit better than I could before. Let's look at the temperature of the clouds. That's what this is. Just show me the big tops. Most of the big tops are over here on the coast. See what I mean? This thing's loading right up. That looks like it has rotation to it. Where's the coast? Yeah, that's not good for those folks. So that would be Harvey Bay. Because I don't see Morton Island. Yeah, Gladstone has a really big next rat up here as well. So let's have a look. We got Dot out there. Lord Howe Island. Sorry, I'm having a chuckle. Because an image said, this isn't very definitive for clouds, but it'll tell me where the cold tops are. So I can see what's the sudden low pressure. And the sudden low pressure is developed between Rockhampton in this plume. Now let's have a better look at the plume itself. So we'll go to the infrared. I'm going to cut off some of the towns. It just makes it easier to see. Now it'll load the whole country at once. I'm very curious. I'm not touching my mouse. It's just zooming in and out. Well, let's see what happens here. I'm putting it through its paces. If it flies, I'm going to call it Pegasus. Because Pegasus was the best war horse you can get. Alright, it ain't doing nothing I like. I find sometimes if I do that, we'll go infrared grayscale. Coastal. Here we go. It's going to load this time. So I want to have a look at Sydney. But imminent danger is here. Oh yeah, pluming all at once. See how they don't let you see it clearly anymore? When you zoom in, you have to go way back. When the people do not want you to see that things, they are not seen, or they are not sees. N-O-T-S-E-E-S. What a plume you got here, splitting off in two directions out here in the ocean. Stationary plume here, fizzing off. It's not like a cloud is going and it's just floating along, is it? What are your eyeballs seeing here in this picture? What are you seeing down here? That thing should be diving south. But this is going south. The middle of this is going north. This is an impossible storm. Again, it's impossible for this to naturally exist. This should be circular, not all lines continuously deploying catalysts inside itself to sustain the rotation of the storm. Meanwhile, floods have occurred. Bad floods have occurred, if there is such a thing as a good flood. And this was like a biblical flood. When I said I wouldn't be surprised if I seen Noah's Ark floating by a week ago, I was quite accurate. And I still wouldn't be surprised. Might have done a lot of good for some communities to have a great big ark to put all their stuff in. Look at these chem bombs going off. Look at how this one shoots off in the other direction, away from where it was flowing. Want to see that again? Okay, let's bring that up with the cursor. Right here. Right, this is all flow in this direction, but this is going to go differently. You watch. And it shoots off other way. That should be floating. I left this cursor in place so you can get an idea that something is traveling or something is staying stationary when everything else is moving. The microwave pulse went through here. I'll speed that up, you'll see it better. Zzz. And that'll create a heated area that'll pin storms south. So when this rotation comes in here, this cooler air, it meets a wall of EMF, heated outflow towards itself. And it can't go past it. It just has to stay down here. It has to stay here and do its damage. And it's doing a hell of a lot of damage. People are losing their livelihoods. Businesses are going to be crushed. Supplies are going to be quite short. Your roads are absolutely decimated for bringing supplies into a big city. It's not good. And that mud and stuff is not healthy. It's got stuff in it, ashes from the fires. You know about coal ash? Well, you can imagine the ash from all the nanometals that have been descending upon this planet, absorbed by the wood and the trees that had burned. And now it's on the forest floor and it's headed your way. So you don't want to be inside that stuff. And as far as the weather plan goes, I know you're curious. I just wanted to document the plumes. Because this is the evidence of the crime. This is the chemical attack on Australia by the United Nations. This is a united program. It's not fair. It's wrong. You were not asked if you wanted this to occur. Because if you did, and you did see this as nefarious, and in your mind, let's say, this was going on, you don't believe in geoengineering or anything, but if this was going on and was man-made, would you think that was wrong? Or would you think it was right? I say you would think it was wrong. Because the vote of oneness just heard your mind. And if you say this is good, then, well, I question your connection to the world. Look at this squareness of this. This is nastiness. And this is headed your way, New Zealand. It's going to come down here, right? Then it's going to get in a current and loop up around. So you've got quite a few days, and I'll be letting you know. Okay? I promise. Look at this. Now, I don't want to leave you out of the picture, Perth. You're a city center that's also copping, being plumed, being attacked chemically with sickness mix. Now that's not very clear, is it? You want to see it clearly? I'll show you clearly. Right, I ain't done. I told you I'm going to put this thing through its paces. I want to load the screens as I'm going. It's the first time I've had it up and running. And you guys deserve this. My God, I feel so blessed. Y'all calling me here. Well, you're the heroes. Look what we get to look at now. My microscope will work on this once I get all the drivers settled into this computer. You hear what I said? I have to update all the windows on this computer, which I haven't done yet, to get the maximum performance out of these chips I put in it. Yeah, I got 32 gigs of RAM running in this with a 4 gig GeForce graphic card. Yeah, put onto a proper chip. At least it's got the i5 8th generation. It absolutely reads perfect. So we can do a lot with this. Microscopes and all sorts. I will show you. My other computer would not do it. Told you that. Said I was a Hogan scam. Well, I'll tell you what, one of them microscopes has been in a laboratory being properly used by a PhD that's not owned by the system. Okay, when you guys get results that count. Look at the EMF out here. Bzzz, I'm just zoomed in on something. What's this here? Where am I? Mediterranean Sea. That's a dust storm headed into Turkey. Not good for the air there for them. Not good at all. So now, the plumes were not deployed yet at this time of day. They were deployed here, coming on in. So that's a recent addition to the air quality of all the animals underneath that, of all these people here. What you gonna do when they come for you, you often sang. Well, they've come for you. Chemical attacks, microwave weapons. Look at these plumes. I'm going to speed this up. You could just pick a pulse coming through here. You see that little shadow change coming in here? That's a microwave pulse, most likely coming from up here, because that's got a big place here. I haven't loaded any of my maps things on this device yet. Hopefully I get that map, because somebody's going to have to give me a key to open Google Earth Pro, and then I'll be able to remark maps again like I had. That ain't a round storm. That's like a spinning hexagon. Do you see it? Psst, psst. Look at the pattern of the pulses of the chem dumps continually sustaining it in a predictable place. Here and here, here and here, here and here. And the winds, outflows, and catalysts are doing the rest. That ain't just sulfur in that. Okay? Look at how that's going down. This is going up. This is not a proper toilet flush. All this should be going in. This is an impossible storm. It's caught in a hell of a jet. It's going super fast because that was moving 4 hours in the space of a few seconds. So you can see the EMF waves better. We'll have a look at, and turn that off. I'm going to let it all run. I want to see what happens when it all runs. That's me. Oh my. There's just a little bit of wind there, Ireland. Let's see what your rain's going to be. Hang on a minute. Accumulation. Not too bad. A bit heavy through where the Shannon runs, so maybe some flooding for that. Look at Iceland. They're going to cop it. Big snow for them. Turkey, big rains in their mountains. Disputed area. Oh, that's what we got here. Them trying to sell me something for that driver, and I bailed on it. Alright, let's go to Straya. Here we are. See, most of all the main moisture's out at sea now. That's 3 days from now. Next 12 hours. See, it's like I said, the event is basically over. You're just dealing with runoff now. You know, the runoff of all those rains and all that is still got to come through the city. So if you have a rain event here in about 4 days, those rivers ain't calmed down yet. You'll get scared into a flood. Well, it looks all dramatic, don't it? But when you seen it on that other view, it ain't nothing to it. Excuse me, I'm zipping over. Cam. Yeah, is that round? This is the center of your circulation. That's a mess. Look at how many angles you've got drawn in here. Very pleased with the program. Really loading nice. Give you some place labels. Look at the runoff of the river from the flooding. Look at the contamination of the ocean here over at Harrington. They copped it. If you see it way over to the sides like that in a little different color than the green was, that's flood. And it was many days of clouds for them. Look at the floodwaters here on the 5th going out to sea. And I'll go a year down. And it's not there. See how clear the water should be? This is pollution, and it's way out here. Look at all that chem on the 5th, preceding the floods. And this is the Port McCreary area on the 5th. Look at all the chem here, Sea Rocks, Newcastle, preceding your storms. And again, flooding. That color is indicative of it. It's easy to trace. You know, I go to today. We go down here, they hadn't had theirs yet, right? But they got copped it with all these pollutants, these fire accelerants, these chemical catalysts, and even roads, like you could put a ruler up here. Something came along and deployed something. I showed you that document where it says it, artillery shells, balloons, aircraft, hoses suspended in towers, sea-based methods of cloud brightening, and various other devices of microwaves and thoughts of Dr. Evil would do. And only Dr. Evil would do such a flood as they do and attack the major city centers for a nefarious agenda that we never got a choice about fully. They make people whine it. They're going to have a place to live. Where's the stacking packs? They're not built yet. Maybe they'll give you all nice uniforms and make you do it. Look at that flood. Can we see any other? Oh my. Right, Lismar's flood. Look at this. Is this Ballina in there? I'm going to put some better names on coastline borders and roads. Let's see if they're following the road where the trails are going to be. Let's see what it looked like a year ago. I have to do some determining so you're seeing. See the color difference? That's all flooded. That's all flooded. Lismore. That's you, Ballina. That's your flood. Gosh, I'm glad I got that warning. Look at that big scalar square here, fueling that storm on the 7th. See it? That's evidence of geoengineering going on now. Beautiful Byron. Cape Byron, the easternmost spot in Australia. And again, look at that hexagonal spot there, right off the coast of Mullumbimby. This beautiful area got destroyed. This is the voting block of the independent mind thinkers that decide to think freedom of choice for their body is a good thing. And I agree with them. Tweed heads, look at the scalar square, filled in with chem. Right, I'm just told you I was going to go over this storm a little bit different tonight. I was hoping to stream it straight in, but I hope this is sufficient and I can see some of your comments. The ocean is really dirty and brown here, and stay out of that water, please, Sally, and keep your pets from swimming in it. So don't bring it near them or they'll be tempted to do it, because they could get sick. Let's see if we could see some more flood waters. I'm hoping to not see them, but the Nazis ain't really showing you the scope of this. Brisbane. Now let's see, let's take it back a year and see what it should look like. See, that soil was still brown back then, so I'm not going to call that a flood. So I got to do some determinants. Now I'm going to turn some of these roads off. That's them because they burned it. All right, let's get to, see if we can get a clear day. Nope, not yet. But we do see some staining. Now I know they had some, Harvey Bay had some action, because I seen it the other day. That color in their water. There. And the whales are going to be a bit choked up with that. They're out here learning to be whales with their calves. I'm teaching them all sorts. It's one of the most beautiful spots in the world because of what occurs here. And even that big patch of EMF is felt in the waters by these animals that use sonic things and types of navigation we never really took the time to fully explore. Some people have, but it's not widely publicized enough, and everything's called a theory when they think about it. But when us, it's a conspiracy. That ain't a conspiracy to think that's wrong. A conspiracy is covering up the fact that geoengineering went on and weather bombed a country that was in the middle of protesting for its freedom of choice. And then it wiped out an area of the country that's well known as a hotbed of anti-vaxxers and the critical thinkers. Boom, 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 boom went the plumes over the ocean. How dare they? Look at that flood in Brisbane, that mark there. It's the devil. And it does got a not a nice looking face, that mud, does it? I told y'all, when the water elementals shows up, look at that right turn there. That's not a natural flow. That's geoengineering. And it took a pop here to make it turn. See that? Electromagnetic frequency, perturbation of the atmosphere, controlling the weather. Look into it. It's documented. They teach it in universities now. You can get a degree in geoengineering. No, I'm not lying about this. Go look. Sheesh, look like a house, don't it? That house needs tearing down. Yamba. I like that name. It just rolls off the tongue. Sounds pleasant. All these laser pops. Laser pops get used to, and they look a little different. There's a chem bombs being deployed here. Boom, 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 boom. Has an epicenter, and it's a crest. That hasn't dispersed yet. So that's fairly new. All this to sustain the center of a rotation. It has all of us sitting on it and rotating. Boy, did they fuck Sydney up today. I am sorry. I'm very upset about it. If you haven't seen it yet, that show I did with Jeff O'Toole is up on the YouTube thing, and I did show data that was ongoing of the storm. I could have got it up sooner, but he wanted it edited right. Boy, did I enjoy the way that one came out. I'm very pleased with how this is streaming. I don't know how my phone is sending it. That takes this out of the equation. Is there any place you want to see or a question you want to ask me? Because I can actually read it. Thanks, namaste. Namaste to you as well. Namaste. I'm going to have a look up here. What's going on here? What's this rotating? Where's this going? What are they doing? This bear's watching. For all intents and purposes, like I said, the weather plan didn't really have y'all having a whole bunch of nothing. United States, you can expect you're going to have a bad week, actually. I'm waiting. They're trapping your trucks, and once your trucks are there, they're going to get you on a weekend. They're setting you up for a nor'easter. Watch this dip down up here. Bring that down through here. And there's your recipe for have some fun. It's not showing up in the weather plan yet, but I've seen this setup before. That brings this down from here. Warm air up here. When the cold air hits it, you get an ice storm all along here, knocking out power lines. When it gets to about here, it turns into a blizzard. It's kind of what I see. But, you know, it's not on the weather plan yet, but all the dynamics are there. I've been covering weather a long time. I'd never be accurate on weather if I had a degree in meteorology. Because all they do is tell you that homo mammatus is a new cloud, but they don't tell you it means man-made in Latin. Right, this one here, we're going to give you the weather plan. I'm going to let it roll. This is the wind. I'm going to go with rain and thunder. Told you I'm going to put this through its paces today. See how quick it jumps screens. All right. Roll. Oh yeah, it's rolling nice. Look at the range you're getting here. All right, I'm going to stop that. That's heavy. That's very heavy. Let's have a look. What's the satellite look like? Told you I'm going to pace this thing. weather radar. We got any pulsing? Usually out here. Nope, nothing showing. Wants to know my location. You go fuck yourself. Oh, no, you do not know my location. I don't see any big pulsing going on, but I'm going to run it. It'll show up as like a little haze. Not really. They really blanked it out after you guys started showing those beams. They've reacted. Right, satellite says... Look how square those are. This is CGI, of course, if anybody wants to say that. But it's showing you the boiling atmosphere here from EMF. Like that fishbone look there. That creates a flow of energy. Something's nucleating straight off, pinning this. The hot air flow going this direction. You'll feel it. They say, oh, do you feel that warm air feeding the storm? Well, this is the warm air being made by ionospheric heaters. Gladstone was that area of concern that had that rotating storm. So I'm going to go with a little bit of infrared here and see what it shows. Now the whole flow is going here. Now I just noticed that it's growing in the northerly direction. If I hold this here, you watch the storm move. Boom. Something is deployed. That changed the dynamics of that storm. So right, let's go back with the rain and thunder. See what it's doing. But that's heavy. 26 mils every 3 hours. That particular. So it looks like it's rotating. If it's hanging in place like that, expect hail, possible water spouts, damaging winds and tornadic activity. With all that lightning. I'll tell you about tornado is an electrical phenomena, right? The wind is a byproduct of the vortex and it meeting ground. So when you see this much lightning and this much shear in a storm is rotating, let me see what I can pick up here. Came in. You're going to have a long night. Very long night. It's right at a place of shear where it turns. You're going to roar down here wind-wise. It's not. But it's not torrential. You'll see some localized flooding because this is very flat. What's going on here? This is not unusual this time of year to see this flow. And to see this area get some heavy rains. You got a lot of sugar cane up here. But when you got stuff like this going on. Oh man, this thing is opening nice. Very pleased with that actually. And let's see what we got going on. Well, when you got stuff like this going on. These plumes here. Right? And down here. This big mass of crap. And that's right over where the storm was. Right? A few place labels on. That's Cairns. Look at this chem bomb. I've heard they had some flooding. Look at that chem bomb off their coast. Boom. It's very similar to that other one. I mean, that ain't round, is it? It's not a big round thunderstorm. But you'd never see that from the shoreline, would you? Because that's out at sea. That'd be like stealing all the Christmas lights off only half a tree. Nobody would ever know that you was only lighting half the tree. Right? See that's blatant evidence right there of the geoengineering that floods today in Cairns. Or however you pronounce that. This is the Great Barrier Reef. You think this is very healthy, having this stuff settle on it? If this chemical set on your skin, you'd feel burning. Well, that's going in the water. Beautiful animals that are irreplaceable are being subjected to a geoengineering. That color don't look very healthy, does it? Don't to me. That's nasty. Look at that. Look at the shape of that. It's not really showing up on the satellite view, is it? No, it's gone by then. I would have had to have that data earlier. And she flies. I'm very pleased with this. Thank you, community. Let's hope I can use this to give more warnings or weather forecasts as needed for events so you guys can be prepared. Yes, I'm up and running, Holly, but it's not quite got the drivers to show the screen directly, but I'll have that sorted tomorrow. I ordered the cheapest old Logitech like I had at home. It's a 720. It's not the latest greatest, but it's the cheapest. For 15 pounds, I get one. And I spent extra money upgrading the computer's RAM. I've doubled it for 50 pounds. Now, while they have all the stuff and it's there and they're plugging it in. And I had them take out the hard drive, the terabyte one, and put it in an SSD, and they did that swap for free because it only had one and I wanted two. I want it quieter. I asked for no lights on the front, and I wanted one that didn't look like the devil. So this has the number 7 on the front. Yeah, why has a computer got to look evil anyhow? It's a tool. It should be smiling at you because it's going to give you the world. Look at that chem bombs down here over my reef. Evenly spaced plumes of chemical catalysts. So it is a chem trail. Never say it isn't to me, because if it's an element on the periodic table that's a chemical, or made into a chemical compound, oxided or something, then it is a chemical trail if it leaves a trail of cloud in the atmosphere. And that's undeniable. So let's get that over with. Nobody tell me it ain't a chemtrail. I just told you. I proved it. I showed you the documents all along this entire event, so don't expect me to do it again tonight. You can feel free to watch a past one. And as I move down the coast here, between Townsville and Bowen, you see that again. You see that color. That not niceness. It's like an oil slick. Don't it? Rainbowy. That ain't David Bowie. But you dang sure got the lightning bolts coming down. Those poor folks. Really not a good night for you guys, is it? Oh my. And this is reef as well. It ain't bleach. It's being destroyed by freaking sulfates. It's being chemically burnt. You ever pour acid on coral? Gives off a lot of CO2 when it's disintegrating. Disgusting. Seeing such pollution over our world. Seeing such man-made weather being sold as a good idea. And it's not a good idea at all if it's yielding floods, destroying people's lives. Port McCreary, not too good. You guys copped it. West Rocks, I know you did. You're actually picking up a haze out in the water all the way out through here, right? And the worst of all is up here. Look at Grafton. You ain't hearing about them. You ain't hearing about Yamba. Everybody's talking about Lismore, but these communities out there need help too. Molina, look at this. Yeah, they got it deep, because that's a central hub of a community, and they want that land back. This is so lowering. Look at this going out. Look at these toxic floodwaters. This is damage still being done. Now it's the turn for the sea life to have to, with gills, to become contaminated with this unexpectedly. How many layers of shale will be dug up in 500,000 years with the remnants of the fish that just died from this event right now, settling in these silts? All the stuff you put on your lines, all the stuff that leaked out of vehicles is going out to sea there. This is not good. This is an environmental disaster. in progress, this silt. And nobody's talking about it while the boom boom plumes off the coast own your weather and before 2025. And look up that document. Owning the weather by 2025. Many a president has talked about having control of the weather. So don't tell me it ain't occurring or that it wasn't conspired to happen. As I would say, you're insulting my intelligence. If I'm accurate predicting this flood, don't ask me for a bunch of proof. Maybe you should ask me, how am I doing it? How am I so accurate? Well, if you watch my videos, I show you why. I read the clouds. I read electromagnetic frequency and chemtrails and give very accurate forecasts. Did you hear me just call out a freaking ice storm that's not even listed on a map yet? Well, I did that for your Sydney floods over a week ago. It wasn't even listed on none of them forecasts. I seen the dynamics and says, oh my, they're going to weather war you on your next protest day coming in. It's just starting to flood Bundaberg. That's not good either, because they're getting more now. They're getting this area here. Watch. They're going to get it. I've seen it. Yeah, they ain't done. But this is a lighter rain. Tell the kids to calm down. It's not the same. All right, the main floods are over. The kids can relax a bit, but they're playing down at the beach until the debris are up is not wise. Bringing your animals down here without some kind of protective shoes, and they do make them for dogs and stuff, is not wise. Actually, if I hear you do it, I'm going to get angry at you. I'm willing by you still ain't out of the woods because these things are still cresting. It's very mountainous here. It's beautiful when you come through the pass and you look over the valley and you see Mount Warning. Beautiful sight. See that shape? Ancient tsunami bed. They say it was a cauldron. I don't agree with it. I see ancient tsunami bed. That would take a huge piece of New Zealand sliding off for that to cop it. UK, I gave a talk here. I hope you guys are all right. Yep. It'll haul right by the bridge. Crosses that creek. Boy, did they cop it during the first flood too, so I know they copped it this time. That whole area there's a huge voting block. It's wonderful healers and beautiful people and real beautiful people. Right? And that's where I had my first chai latte over at the Muba Market. Dirty chai. It sounded funny saying dirty. It means I had a little coffee. I like chai, just chai latte was gorgeous. Hadn't had one since. Look at all the lightning predicted. I ain't gonna tell you there's gonna be some lightning, right? That's owning your weather, and that's owning you. That's dissing your ease. Now I'm gonna let this whole thing just roll. Let's let you see so you feel at ease. There's none of them big things all the way up here coast. Except up here where you would normally see it this time here. And in the middle comes normal storms, and then it dissipates. Boom. Send some moisture down here they can pick up and do again. See, those are very heavy storms there going across your middle. I'm just letting you have a peek. I told you I'm going to put it through its paces. I'm getting a little bit tired. I've got to be up very early. Why? Because we got the science to do. That's an area of concern. It's got cyclonic rotation. If it's rotating towards the rising sun, it's a cyclone, no matter what hemisphere you're in. If it's rotating away from it, it's anticyclone. So a hurricane in the northern hemisphere is technically an anticyclone. No, somebody asked me that the other day. This is normal to see as the monsoon season starts. You know, where you get the monsoon exacerbated by land-grabby, greedy oppressors that owned your weather. Papua is the civil war and the crimes that are going on there is heinous and it's going untalked about. So I just mentioned it. That's more than just genocide, man. That's a civil war where people are just really brutal, cutting each other up. Look, we got some snow. Headed toward the Ukraine. That's the Crimea right here. Yep, they got some snow. You know, NATO better remember the Russian winter and the lessons of Napoleon and Hitler. That's what fucked them was the Russian winter. But summertime's coming. Uh-oh, we got some kind of storm whipping up. That's a strange flow. That's very strange, actually. That's almost trans-equatorial, because this is starting down here. Actually, the moisture crosses the equator and up. Yeah, that's an oddity. Ecuador. That's not quite crossing the equator. No doldrums there today. Garbage patch will be turning out here. Hawaii copped in the winds. They've got the steering winds, actually. If a storm comes here, it's going to go straight there. Looks like they've used an EMF wheel of heated air to pin all moisture away from California so you don't get no water. And that's a common move. Like some blizzard conditions for up around these coastline areas here. You see them reds and you see snow. That's a blizzard. So get your firewood early. Middle of the week's not looking too good. Just having a zip around. I'm liking how fast this is loading. Let's look and see your new snows. Yeah, most of the rivers of snow are headed in this area here. But if I do rain across the world, you get to see an idea of where the moisture is, that they move around. And I keep this in my head. Like, where are they going to put this? Are they going to move it up and around and then work it back under the, in between here and then bring it up? Like they often do here, and bring some moisture up and then rain it here and catch it? Look how square all that is. What's going on? I'm curious. Are you curious? Let's look. Geoengineering is real, and it's not just Australia. It's the whole world. Let's see if we get all their strangeness. It must be the radar coverage area is well lit. Not quite what you'd want to expect to see in the rainforest, is it? Not showing much. We've been very windy. What's going on here? That's a pulse. Zzz, from Copenhagen. Some blasts here. See it? That's EMF. That's geoengineering. That's going over other countries. That's not small. And I've said they was going to get blizzard conditions, so they're fueling their demise. Another real guilty one is over here. Always see it blasting. So let's have a look. Why not? This is what I do, you know. I have to know where the ionospheric heaters are heating things to see what the flows are going to be. Heating up that area will actually keep storms away from the Baltic Sea here and force them up and in, because it made a heated wall. Some will come down, some will come in. It won't go that way. So I wonder what their accumulations are. We go back to rain. New snow. Wow, Turkey's going to cop it. I'm going to issue some warnings to some people, especially on the southern border with Syria down here. They're copping it. But there's some very high mountains here. This was like Noah's Ark, Göbekli Tepe is all down that way. Ankara's the capital. Izmir, they're doing all right. Tendrils of water-wise, yeah, same thing. Beirut, Lebanon. You know, you wouldn't want to damage them oranges growing down there. Ho, ho, ho to the GMO. Maps keep changing names, man, but this is still planet Earth. Yeah, there's a lot of moisture around you, Australia. And I told you, they're bringing this up and around. Right, so all that water's still there, New Zealand. I'm going to issue a warning for your side areas here in down bottom Fjordland. And as we get closer to what I'll call the event that you're flooding down here, as you will, you're going to cop it along this coast. There's no way you're not. How we looking 10 days? Oh, yeah. Ooh, be prepared. Nothing in 5 days, and within the next 5 days after this, they're telling you, the weather plan is saying they're going to flood you. Gisborne in this. So prepare, New Zealand. And let's watch how they do this. Okay, it's very important we learn. If we don't learn how to tell our own weather, we're going to become the victims of depopulation via geoengineering. And I think we've just got a very harsh lesson given to us. Yeah, there's a lot of moisture here. Fiji, you're going to get a bath. Look at this. Look at Labasa. When are they planning that? Within 5 to 10. These are important, though. This is the weather plan. This is what they're going to do to you. And it was quite accurate. But how come none of your BOM issued a warning? I'm absolutely disgusted. They know this is coming and they didn't have anything prepared. Problem, reaction, solution. Their solution is don't live there. That's the wrong solution. I think if anything else, that community needs to not only stand strong and help each other with barn raisins and stuff. Places to sleep while you're building each other's homes back. Yeah, this blizzard. Not so bad in New England, the weather plan. I'm disagreeing. Because that moisture, all it takes is a bump of EMF out there and she's coming ashore. They're planning to square out there. I just don't see how people don't get this. How do they not get this? I don't get it. I don't get this at all. Let's see if I can get this to so we could talk. Alright. Really gotta jack that up in the air. Right. It's nearly 4 a.m. I've done the best I can for you, Straya. Yeah. It's near about over. You still got runoff to come. I don't see the atmospheric conditions that are telling me any different. So, wow, what a fucking week. Now what are we going to do about it? How are we going to help these people? Let's get them some kind of natural bug sprays down there. Let's get them some, anybody got generator, portable water things that you could go down there and help people do some clothes to wash them. I think that would make people feel good. This is terrible. Go out looking for the pets in the woods that people lost that might have run off and have survived. Right before they succumb to the wild animals that might eat them. I guess highly venomous snakes there, you know. And they don't play. And they'll be hungry now too. There'll be lots of forage for those type animals. Go looking. Put some food out for them. I'm very, very saddened by this whole event. I'm very saddened seeing the toxification of the Great Barrier Reef and various other ecosystems that are so precious to the Pacific Ocean and its sustainability of its animals. You know, to be functionally extinct is one thing. To be extincted is another. Right? When we're pulling a switch by saying, let's pass these Paris Accords, they don't know what they're doing. Let's be honest. Look what they just did. If you give them benefit of the doubt, you say they don't know what they're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, don't you practice on the planet. Don't you practice on the dolphins and the sea turtles. Don't you practice on my whales. Or my whales. Don't you practice on them. That's right. I love them and they're mine. I'll let everybody else enjoy them. Wonder how they're faring, you know. Off the coast of Belize and stuff, you had some binoculars about this time of year, you will see whales in the sea. off the shore. It's a thrilling sight. Feel blessed to haven't seen that. Because there might become a time, because of geoengineering flood like this, they just die. Oh, we hit a big EMF blast over there to control the weather, and they die. They beach up on your shore, and something else gets blamed, plastic or something. But why the hell did it go over there and begin? Big blast EMF throwing off their navigational system. Metals like this, they're breathing it in, and it's going to go in their body. It's going to toxify gills and all. God knows what's in that water. What a shame. But anyways, I did what I could for y'all. Thank you, community. Your faithful servant, Robert says. Big love. Peace.